It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Neame Brewery. I've not said that in quite a few months, if not years, on the channel. I was in my local supermarket and I seen that they had a Spitfire Golden Ale. 4.3% ABV, clear glass bottle, which I suppose is a little bit of a shame, but we'll touch on that later on in the review. Here is the bottle cap. Without further ado then, they're based in Faversham in Kent. I've been to the brewery, I've brewed with the brewery. Lovely people down there at Neame. Without further ado, let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass. No need to kind of mix up the last inch of this particular bottle. I could see that it wasn't a bottle conditioned beer. Normally, if it was a bottle conditioned beer, I'd leave that inch and I'd roll it round and I'd throw it in, but no need to do that, as it's a filtered beer. We got a 1 finger white head, nice levels of carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. Quite large bubbles rolling up. And this is all part of the kind of the detective in me now that I've already talked about the clear glass, I've already talked about the large bubbles in the beer. If there's brewers watching, you're already thinking, you know, but fingers crossed. So far, I've picked up not an ounce of kind of skunkiness coming from this beer. Let's get that aroma then on this clear amber coloured beer. It actually smells okay. It really does. "2022 has so far seen me revert back a little bit to where we were on the channel when we first started, buying bottles of ale from the supermarket shop and just giving it a go and being quite enthusiastic about it. You stray so far from your roots, and I'm talking to the people directly who have been commenting on my recent releases of golden ales from Purity Brewing Company, St Peter's Brewery, Witchwood Brewery, Banks Brewery. All of you lovely people who have been commenting on these recent videos, who have said, look, some of these beers are pretty decent. And do you know what? They are. And I had one comment where somebody said, you've strayed so far from where you started with these kind of cheaper end bottles. You went into the wonderful world of canned craft beer, and you even kind of went into reviewing food on the channel, which I'll continue to do because I really like it, and I'll continue to review the cans. It's just I want to give a little bit more time to the bottled ale. This smells lovely, it does. I mean, English grassy hops, so there's a little bit of lemon in there. A light wafer biscuitiness coming through on the aroma. It smells good. Should we dive in? Cheers, everybody. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Not that there was going to be something wrong with that. It's almost as if I started the beer review on a negative foot here. But seeing it in a clear glass bottle, seeing the large bubbles of carbonation, they're little signs that, I mean, certainly the clear glass bottle, there's an effect called kind of skunkiness, light strike, where the light from the clear bottle from the supermarket pierces that kind of clear glass. The sun might pierce that bottle, get that kind of light in there. It's the UV rays that change the hops from being lovely and lemony and grassy to yeah, it's just a skunkiness, like almost like a weed or something that comes out the back of a skunk's backside. But thankfully there's not a bit of it here. There really isn't. This is very pleasant. Very, very pleasant beer. In fact, I think I would prefer to drink this over the regular Spitfire. I think this is a better beer. It's around the same ABV in terms of Spitfire being 4.5, this being 4.3, so there's next to nothing in the alcohol by volume. They probably produced this at 4.3 as to not take the light completely from Spitfire, to keep that as the premium beer in the Spitfire brand range. Because I talk about the brand now because I picked this up in Morrison's. It was part of a 4 for £6 deal, so it was worked out £1.50 a bottle. But then I went recently into Home Bargains and I found that they had a Spitfire lager for 69p. So that'll be coming to the channel shortly too. Spitfire lager, 69p. I'm wondering what happened there. It's got me intrigued. It's a little 330ml bottle. Something which you find your Budweisers in and your other kind of your Coronas and that sort of thing. But 69p, I'm wondering whether they brewed too much of it, or maybe something kind of went slightly wrong with that batch. But that's coming to the channel soon. Shepherd Neame Spitfire Lager. So you've got Spitfire Amber Ale, Spitfire Golden Ale, Spitfire Lager. So they're kind of diversifying that Spitfire name into its own mini brand. But that's decent. That's a decent beer. It's nicely carbonated. Carbonation pushing the beer on the inside of the mouth, releasing more of that flavour. It's crisp, it's wafer-like, it's biscuity. It's a grassy, kind of slightly peppery, spicy, lemon hop flavours, a nice bitterness coming on the back end. I could quite happily quaff. And I'll probably buy this. I think 2022 is going to be the year where I return to, not completely, but to return to my roots of buying more of this bottle beer. I think I've neglected this style and these beers for too long now, and there's definitely a market for it because there's lots of people talking about it on the channel. Blimey, I had one, Mr. Appleford, how you doing, mate? He said, blimey, it's been such a long time since you reviewed any of these bottled beers, and it makes for a refreshing change. It really does, because as much as I love canned craft beer and German beers and Belgian beers, this is the quintessential British pint. This is what lots and lots and lots of us know and love. I could drink pints of this, pints and pints and pints of this. It's really decent, a really decent beer. Right, what are we saying about this beer then? Brewed by Britain's oldest brewer, Spitfire Golden Ale is a well-balanced ale. Its sweet malt base is complemented by subtle bitterness and tropical aromas, imparted by some of the world's favourite hops, including Challenger, Centennial and Saaz. Oh, right, okay, so they've actually put some New World hops in here. I'd still say it's probably more traditional than it is, what do they call it, tropical. I'm not really experiencing tropical, but that's okay. That's okay. definitely more of a traditional British ale, I would say, traditional British golden ale, but it's lovely. It really is lovely. It really is. I'm going to be buying more and more of this. Golden ale with substance and character. Shepherd Neame Spitfire Golden Ale. For that price, £1.50, this day and age, that's a cracking pint. That's a cracking pint, it really is. For the money, it's an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.